My life was not my own. So my life was living me and I wasn't living my life. Actually, I said, let's break me down and build me back up and deal with my limiting beliefs.
Has your life, your dreams been interrupted? Good news. It is possible to reinvent our lives. People are doing it every day, and some are brave enough to share the struggles, disappointments, and challenges. If you are looking for a new beginning, a do-over, or to rediscover your passion, maybe even find a new one, then grab a cup of coffee and let's talk. Interrupted, Act 2, Reinventing Your Legacy, with your host, Coach Lori.
Trish Tatarek is a body language strategist, and I cannot wait to hear what that is. Welcome, Trish.
It's really a joy to be here and to share my story.
Why don't you tell us about what you do and what you love about it?
I am a body language strategist. And what does that mean? I help you create impact with your messaging in two ways. Basically, it's communication in your messaging as well as your physicality. We want both of those to match your intention and your purpose. And we work within 4 pillars, and they're confidence, competence, trust, and approachability. And the goal is you're magnetizing business and people to you. It's really important because our presence is the permission that we give to others on how they're going to work with us. And most importantly, if they're going to choose to work with us. And that happens with that first impression. So in a way, it's teaching us the it factor. It's how to have that presence. And that all really starts with that foundation of confidence. I actually took this course as a real estate agent back in 2019 with Carestone Shields, the founder. And I fell in love with it because it gave me something that was lacking in my business. I was a big, huge personality, loud voice, arms waving everywhere. Then I had to stop and think, after learning how to use my body properly, how much business did I lose? What was the first impression that I was giving people? Because I know my friends would often have to say, oh, just wait. Yeah, Trish is loud. She has one of the kindest hearts that you'll ever meet. It just takes a while to get to know her. And what we teach in the body language strategy, that's an opportunity wasted. That first impression happens within 1 second. That a bad first impression, it takes 10 hours to undo that. And most of us don't have the time to chase business, trying to get that person back. So this whole thing is about magnetizing. And what I've found, this has really changed my business relationships, my personal relationships, but more importantly, it changed the relationship with myself. There's a couple times in my life where I've done a check-in. When I turned 40, I did a check-in and I said, what do you really want to do in your life that if you waited till you were 80 wouldn't really be as possible or as enjoyable? And I said, I really want to learn to cook. I really want to travel more abroad. And I said, I want to learn to sing. So I signed up for cooking lessons. After 6 months, found someone that was doing a cooking tour of Italy. So I signed up for that. So that was my first trip abroad, a 3-week cooking tour of Italy. I signed up for singing lessons and took lessons for about a year, got a hall and sang 14 Broadway songs in front of 30 friends, family, and peers. The most frightening thing I've ever done because I wanted to be good. And was I great? I'm not a natural born singer. The other time I've done my big check-in is 60. And I said, if 2/3 of my life are over, am I really enjoying what I'm doing in life? And I had been in real estate for 30 years, but I had to do this check-in with me. Is this bringing me joy? Is this fulfilling? I know that I'm good at it. People say I'm good at it. They think I'm really passionate about it, but it really wasn't my passion. It was just something I was really good that brought in big dollars. So my life was living me and I wasn't living my life.
Can you talk about what it took for you to step out and try those new things?
I just don't want to miss out on opportunities. And I just wanted to live my life a little bit more fearlessly. When we talk about the most successful people in the world or in our history, they took risks. And they failed. And the test of that is how quickly we get back up. That's the most important thing. So I really wanted to learn to cook. I took classes and I could go into anyone's kitchen and open your fridge and make a fabulous meal now. Traveling abroad was very eye-opening because they live so differently than we do here. They take the siestas, they slow down more. And I remember coming back from Italy the first time saying, I really got to slow down. But probably within 2 months, I was back in that fast-paced life that we have. Taking the singing lessons, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be an actress. It was living a little girl's dream. And I remember the night before I sang, I did a rehearsal with my singing coach and the pianist. And it was perfect. That was between me and God. It was perfect. The next day, was it perfect? No, I stood up there and through the first song, I cried because it was scary. But you also have to be careful about who you share your dreams with, because people, that's not within their wheelhouse. Marianne Williamson has that poem about shining our light and shining it bright. Who are we not to shine our light? When we shine our light, we give others permission. I was often told that I was way too much. You're too bold. You're too ostentatious. You're too loud. I realized that it wasn't that I was too much. It was that my light was bright and it was making them uncomfortable. In the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, he talks about the domestication of society to fit in everyone's society's rules. And then for the people that want to burst out of that, people want to pull us back down and go, wait, you're getting out of my comfort zone. Will you come back down to earth with me, please? Because realistically, not everyone can go with us on the journey. And when I turned 61, I hired a life coach and I said, let's deal with my limiting beliefs. Actually, I said, let's break me down and build me back up and deal with my limiting beliefs that I had in real estate. Because in real estate, where there's so much comparison going on.
Can you tell us about that breakdown? I love it. You're like, you know what? Let's knock this house down and build it back up.
Yes. I sold my house in order to take a year and a half off to work with a coach and to see what I wanted to do. 3 months into it, I said, let's go away for the weekend and just get most of the hard work. And there were a lot of tears, and she had to really help me find words because I was so stuck that I couldn't find words to describe things or think things through. I realized real estate was not what I wanted to do anymore. I had this opportunity before to get certified as this body language strategy coach. You're going to give away a 30-year, very profitable 6-figure income to start scratch at the age of 61. But when you're saying breaking yourself down, we're looking at who I am as a person. Am I a good daughter? Am I a good sister? Am I a good friend? Am I a good peer? Am I happy at what I'm doing? Am I taking care of my health? Why am I being lazy? Why am I making certain choices? I had a really good, loving childhood, but that thing of people telling me most of my life that I was too much and me bringing myself down to fit in their domestication, their box, so that they could feel comfortable. For most of my life, I wasn't my true, authentic myself. I was less than. And in that is constant warring that goes with yourself. I teach in the body language strategy, we have our past self and we have our greater self. I'm not talking about your future self. One of my goals is I want to stand on a stage teaching and coaching life's lessons to thousands of people. I want to sit next to Oprah on Super Soul Sunday and talk about what it's like to pivot and transition at the age of 61. Those are big, huge dreams. You're saying them out loud. Oh my gosh, now what? There were so many sleepless nights because not only was I had a life coach, I was being coached with a body language strategist 2 days a week. So by every Friday, I was a wreck. I was a mess. You saw some of my Facebook posts, my lives. I'm crying. I knew not everyone can afford life coaching, and I wanted them to know what it was like to break yourself down and rebuild yourself up, being lost at times. I remember my coach telling me not to do anything for 2 months. What? I have no checkoff list? That's how I measure my worthiness, how much I get done and how much I get accomplished. That was the darkest time that I'd ever been through. Who am I? What am I about? What's my purpose? What's the stamp am I going to leave on this world? It was really, really frightening and scary. And was I going to come out of it? Because it was dark. But when I got to the other side, I authentically knew who I was. I knew how to take my big personality and hone it in to use for the goodness of mankind.
You stuck with it. Why I wanted to do this podcast is many people get to a certain age and they give up. They think I missed the mark. I put all my effort into this and that, and now it's too late. And I love your story because what you're saying is it's not too late.
Is it overwhelming? Yes. Launching a new business, starting completely over, going from 6-figure income to nothing. And I just launched in June, just had my first client sign up because I'm not only a body language strategist, I'm a video marketing strategist. I am certified as a life coach, and I'm certified to do train-the-trainer clock hour courses for real estate agents. So I took a whole year and a half off to get all those done and do all that work. What it comes down to is I found my light. I shine it bright. and with no apologies. Yeah, I don't apologize for who I am anymore. We get overwhelmed with social media and technology. Now, I love social media and I love doing videos, and I'm pretty fearless about that. Whenever you're transitioning, pivoting, and then it's not too late, it's not about being perfect. It's about being impactful. I don't want to work with someone that's perfect. I don't want to compare myself against someone that's perfect. I want to know that you're fallible. My life coach has been through a lot. She's had experience and she did the hard work. So she knows what it takes so she can relate to me. We have a whole life experience. I have the stories about being told I was too much and to dim my light and to be less than, and how I had to fight my way out of that. I have the stories of learning technology. I'm going to be 63. All that I've seen in technology, and it's hard to keep up. I only say yes to things that align with my core values. And it's an easy no if they don't align with my core values. I was buying a video camera and this one had all these bells and whistles and this one had all these bells and whistles. And they said, Trish, you're only going to use 5% of what it can do. The average person only uses 5% of what technology can do. Buy the cheaper camera. I thought, okay, save me a bunch of money. If I'm consistent with my 5%, then I can build. Or as a life coach, we don't tell people to go from 0 to 60. We want you to go 0 to 10 until you work up to your 60. And by that time, you're making enough money, you can have the virtual assistants and let them worry about the technology.
People are resonating with what you're saying. I can't tell you how many people I have coached that have been shushed, that have been held back and reined in. I love it that you recognized I'm too much, as even though you didn't have an abusive childhood, you recognize that that was a message wherever it came from that kept you down. So what do you really want people to know about that are struggling?
We're all individually special, and stop comparing yourself to someone else. I'm coaching someone. We do a 45-second commercial at this one networking event. She says, I just don't think that people are interested. And I go, if you think people aren't interested, your voice is going to show that. You have vital information. So I said, I want you to have 3 to 4 affirmations in your car that before you ever walk out of your car, that you're saying these 4 affirmations to yourself. And one of them has to be, is that the information, the knowledge I have is vital and everyone wants to hear about it. Our self-talk is the most important thing. We have everyone telling us again who we need to be. One of the hardest things in going through this is my friendships. I knew not all my friendships could go with me into my future. We have seasons in our life, and we have seasons with our friendships. We have seasons with our relationships. It doesn't mean that they're less than. My coach says everyone has a number. So if I'm an 8 and I have some friends that's 6s and one's a 5 and one's a 9, we all have enough in common to be friends. And not one number is better than another number. Let's get that straight. One number is not better. We're just different numbers. So I actually had a friend that was a 6, another friend in 6. We went on a trip together and they bonded, and I felt a little betrayed by that bond. And I go, wait, why would I want to deny someone that's a perfect pair in that friendship? I wouldn't want to do that. But I knew that some of my friendships, as I'm an 8 and I'm trying to be a 9 and a 10, and have these deeper conversations, not all of them are going to relate. So I actually had a conversation, and it's important to be having conversations with the people that are in your lives. When I was going through that dark time, I said, right now, I'm always the connector, the inviter, and the planner. I don't have the capacity for that right now. I need you guys to pick up the torch. So if you don't call me, you don't connect with me, you don't invite me, and you don't plan it, we're not going to do anything together. And our friendship will probably start to fade away because I've carried this torch, but I can't do it right now. I'm not chasing any of you down anymore.
Have you heard, if not now, when? If not you, then who? Are you being prompted to write a book? To create a podcast? Check out Leaving a Legacy at www.coachlaurie, that's Coach, LAURIE.com. And let's get started on your second act now.
I've carried this torch, but I can't do it right now. I'm not chasing any of you down anymore because I'm teaching magnetizing, and they need to be more mutual. I had to look at my relationships, but you have to be honest and tell people what you need from them. And I go, I'm going through a rough time. This is what I need from you. I need you to check in with me. I need you to ask how I'm doing. I had one friend who didn't understand. So every time she called, I was distant. And she goes, well, you weren't approachable. And I said, I was going through so much. I said, and you didn't ask. Well, I figured if you wanted to know, you'd tell me. And I said, I didn't have the capacity to express myself on what was going on until someone asked me. What is going on? How's your coaching? How's this going on? How are you feeling? And I go, if you don't ask, then you're going to miss out. So some of my friends really picked up the torch and asked me those questions and were with me and understood what I was going through. And a couple didn't. Those seasons went away. And what it did, though, is it brought in room for other people that now vibrate at the level that I vibrate on, that make me want to be better, that make me want to rise up, that if I have an issue, I could call them and they'll help me out. We're vibrating and magnetizing at this other level, which is enriching my life, which helps you believe you can do what you're going to do. Women from 45 to 65 are the less marketed women. We are not marketed to. The only people that are marketing to us are others. There are so many women that we don't even know about that in their 55 to 65 are transitioning, are pivoting, are starting new careers, are going for it. Is it scary? It's absolutely scary. It's frightening. It's overwhelming. It's enriching. It's beautiful. It's blissful. I get to be authentically me. I get to share authentically who I am. I know that at the end of my life, I'm leaving a stamp on life. I didn't let life live me. I lived my life. And it's not too late to make those changes. And even a small change will start the next change. Will start the next change. So build those small habits. Let your light shine bright. Be who you need to be. And understand that not everyone's going to get it. And that's okay, because you're going to attract the people who do.
You have a program that people can come and invest in and learn how to make those baby step changes to get where they want to be before their life is over.
In the body language strategy, we first deal with your mindset, those core values, your fears and your wants, your past self, your greater self. We deal with those. And then we go into when you know what to do with your body, when you know what to do with your hands, how to hold your chin right, how to stand properly. That's really important. If I can do that without thinking about it, then I can concentrate more on my messaging. If your message and your physicality align, we attract more people. We have a primal brain, and that primal brain within 1/10 of a second is judging you and looking at people saying, are you someone that I want in my tribe? Are you someone I want to mate with? Or do I need to run the hell away? Are you going to hurt me? Mm-hmm. That's within 1/10 of a second. Then the subconscious brain comes in, and that's more of our family status, ethnicity, how we were raised. The conscious is more of our likes. All that happens within 1 minute. I challenge people at my last presentation, before you get out of your car, know the intention for that meeting you're walking into, that lunch date you're walking into, that networking event you're walking into. If you get out of your car, you're harried, you're hurried, you're fumbling, and I'm parked in the car and we're going to meet for lunch, and I see you scramble in to the restaurant, and then I'm walking in and you're the person I'm going to sit with, what was my first impression? Immediately, I'm closed down to your message. Because if I'm looking at you to work with, are you the professional I want to work with? Before we step out of our car, be sure, slow down, take that deep breath, know how we're supposed to walk and enter that room. There's ways to attract business and to show trust by having body position open. It's amazing how I used to be when I walked in a room where anyone I wanted to talk to, I had to chase down. Now, when I walk in a room, it's amazing how many people walk up to me. It's silent. It's very silent. Not only that, by going through this program, the confidence that I have, I don't get nervous when I go to speak. I know what to do with my body. I know that my message is important. So it's really important for anyone who wants to change their career, be better at their career, be listened to or heard, to get that kind of alignment. When we have that discord, you can have the best message, but if your body language, I have people saying, oh, I'm sorry.
I love this because you're kind of shrugging, you're shrinking back. Yeah. And it really, really what you're saying makes so much sense, because you may have a powerful message. And if you get up and you're slumped over and you won't make eye contact, and you're looking away and you think, why don't people want to hear what I have to say? It's because you're not showing up.
It's the elite presence. You think of the prima ballerina. Why is she prima? Because she has the most fluidity, the fastest turns, the highest leaps. We pay a lot of money watching people run up and down a grass field kicking a ball. We don't even have to be there. We have the jerseys on at home. We've spent money on jerseys, the foam finger. We invite our friends over there. They're wearing the gear. We spend money to see elite performances, elite movement. So it's very important for us to be elite in our movement. That's where you're seen as being a leader. And your first product that you're selling is yourself. I don't care how good your product is. And there was a person that had a service and it was 5 months of coaching. And I didn't do it because I realized I couldn't listen to her or watch her. There was a discord between her message and how she shown herself. And I go, I can't do that. My primal brain was shutting down. I can't spend money where my primal brain is going to shut down and I'm not going to hear anything. We've all been to a conference when the speaker speaks so softly and you can't hear them and you have to lean in and eventually you get tired and you just pull back and you shut down and go, why am I even here? This is waste my time and a waste of my money. So we don't want that discord. And that's why we're matching your body language to your intention and the purpose, both in your messaging and your physicality. And you show up as an elite leader in what you're doing. And so someone can have the same product or similar product and you have yours. And if they're standing there crossing their legs and twiddling their thumbs trying to give their message and you're giving yours with confidence, and I'm looking at you and I'm going, wow, you're confident. And there's something about you that makes you trustworthy on how you're holding your body and approachable.
Somebody listening wants to work with you. They're going, I am ready. They're raising their hand. How do they find you?
The best way really is going to be my email address, which is Trish@lifeandworkwithtrish.com. Yes, Trish@lifeandworkwithtrish is the best way. You can also find me on Facebook under Trish Tatarek, and that's Tatarek, and you can message me there.
You have touched on so many valuable lessons. If we were to summarize, what do you really want people to walk away with?
Let's say if you're in your 50s or 60s, life is not over. I asked myself, who did I want to be contributing to society in my 70s, my 80s, and my 90s? First, I did the whole mind thing, and now I'm working on the whole health thing so that my body will be able to continually give to the community. A lot of us do, we retire, we stop, and to keep your health active and your mind active is very important. And there's a lot of careers and jobs out there where you can just work 5 hours a week, make a nice income so that you can travel more and take 3 months off to travel. It's never too late to do your passion. It's never too late to find what lights you up, again, to shine it bright, and don't be apologetic about it. The only person you really have to answer to yourself is yourself. And if you have a higher faith, at the end, what regrets would you have? I don't want to have regrets. I want to know that I tried, I did my best. Some things are going to work out for you and some are not. Just because we're 50s or 60s or 70s doesn't mean we stop learning and growing. That's the beauty of life. And when we fill our hearts and we fill our souls, it just shines out of us and it touches others. You are giving others permission to go for their dreams and their goals. And it doesn't have to be this big, huge thing of wanting to stand on a stage talking to 10,000 people. It could be that I'd love to teach English as a second language and volunteer doing that. I would like to help young mothers learn to parent better. One of the nonprofits I want to do is there's some organizations that help young mothers become better mothers. But what if I go in and teach them the body language so that when they interview for the jobs, they get the job. And not only that, they get promoted faster. Whether you want to go back to work or give to your community, man decides what's more important. Going to nursing homes and reading books to elders or bringing your dog in for them, all that has value. Whatever you choose to do with your life has value.
I really like what you said about you did real estate, you were good at it, you liked it, but you didn't love it.
Oh, it was really hard to give up that money. For me, I'm a faith woman. I felt the door was being shut on my business. I had one foot on this line and one foot on the other side of the line. And I felt God say to me, what line do you want me to bless? When you're pulled in two different directions, you only get 50% here and 50% there. That wasn't going to give me the satisfaction, the success, and things that I wanted to do. I was trying to also find a career that I could retire with. So, in coaching, depending upon what your rates are, you only need 5 clients a month. Allows you to travel and do the things that you wanted to do. But mainly it was, I just wanted to help others. I wanted them to feel as good as I feel. The personal relationship that they have with themselves, to have that, to walk around planet feeling confident, and not in a boastful way, but more in that joyful happiness way.
I love that. And I think about women who have retired, who had a great career, And now they're kind of looking at what's next. They don't have to feel like, well, I did that. Like that takes their identity with them. Well, I used to work in radio. I used to be a DJ. Like I used to matter is what the message is. To say, yeah, this is what I used to do, but this is what I'm doing now.
They had a survey that they did. They asked women what was their value, and they based their value on the relationships with their husbands and their children and maybe the community. And they had no sense of value of themselves. That if the husband was gone, the children were gone, and the work was gone, that they had no value. And that's not true. And then I'm not saying it's easy. There's different ways for us to find what you're passionate about and what you might want to do. Taking magazines and cutting out things that you're attracted to, or sometimes going back to something you thought of as a teenager that you might do in your life. Maybe you want to travel and be a travel blogger. You're an animal lover and doing something with that. We think that because we were the best at what we did before that we have to be the best. There's learning curves. Enjoy the process, enjoy the learning curve, enjoy the growth, just enjoy. Happiness is something that people think happens to you. And I think happiness is a choice, and happiness is affected often by what happens in our life, what's going on in our life. When you have joy, that's not impacted whether or not someone's passed away in my family or my car got dented. Joy is just with me all the time. Nothing impacts my joy. And the joy of who I am, the joy of my faith, the joy of that I get to live this amazing life. And that means every time I wake up and I get to take a breath, this is going to be a joyful day. And I'm choosing not to let other things impact me that day. I'm going to live my life. I'm not going to live my life based on how other people tell me, or let my life live me.
So what are you reading?
So I'm doing Atomic Habits, which I love, and James Clear, and then Tethered Soul by Michael Singer. I want to live my life. I don't want it living me. And if that means less money, that's fine. But I know that my provider will provide. There are a community of women that want to be your cheerleaders. I had to learn to accept that I was brave, that what I was doing was courageous. Change my own self-talk. When people go, oh, you're amazing. Now I say, thank you. I received that. It was an honor, Laura, doing this with you and what you're doing for other women by letting them know the possibilities that life has for them. It's a wonderful thing. It's a gift.
Thank you so much.
Coach Lori here. I am not anti-aging. I am all about aging gracefully. Did you know we stop making collagen at a certain age? And did you know powdered collagen has to go through your whole digestive system? So I am a big fan of Glow Liquid Collagen. It helps me age gracefully, inside and out. To order, check the link below. By the way, if you order two at the same time, free shipping. Or if you would like to be an affiliate, make a little extra cash, click the affiliate link.
What we've learned from Trish: get a coach, live your life, don't let it live you, try new things, and oh yeah, it's never too late to reinvent your legacy.
If you love this podcast, here's a big ask. Will you share with your friends and family, subscribe, give us a review, and a 5-star rating so that others looking to reinvent their lives will be able to get the help they're looking for? Thank you in advance.